Hi Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters, welcome to your September 2023 Astro-Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, though if you're only going to watch one, I do advise that you make sure it is your ascendant sign. It's going to be the most accurate for you on that day-to-day level. I use whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. And if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So the first transit, those will be for your moons. The first transit that I would like to look at for you over the course of September is on the 4th of September. Jupiter is going to be going retrograde, or Jupiter retrograde should I say, in your 4th house of home, family, property, real estate, and Mercury is going to be retrograde in your 8th house of other people's money, finances and resources. And also, you know, because the 8th house is a conflict house, right? So deep wounds and traumas and fears. So the fact that it's not so much the fact that these planets are retrograde. Mercury, the retrograde whore, goes retrograde 3 to 4 times a year, give or take. Jupiter goes retrograde once a year, every year for around 3.5 to 4 months, give or take. Now, that's not rare. What is rare is that both of these planets are retrograde at the same time and they're coming into an exact trine, like as in exact to the degree. That is a pretty big deal as far as I'm concerned. Now, this is happening across 2 very deep houses in the chart. Your 4th house, home, family, etc. But it's your roots, it's your foundation, it's the deep part of your soul. It's who you are at that emotional, foundational level and how your heritage and your history have shaped you. Your 8th house is your wounds, your traumas, your other people's money, your thoughts and views on sex, death, the taboo, all of the stuff. And it's also, both of these houses are also occult houses as well. So this is really powerful stuff for you. Jupiter represents the energy of healing and abundance and growth and expansion. Mercury is fast communication, siblings. It is transactional nature of money and the give and take in our world, right? So really interesting stuff. A connection like this might see you revising. So revising all of those rewords, revising, researching, redefining, redesigning, redoing, relaunching, all of that energy, that's retrograde stuff. A connection like this across these 2 deep houses in your chart, this could literally see you revising your ideas around personal power. It might see you reclaiming, there's another retrograde word, an aspect of your life in a really big way. Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo in your 8th house, which is helping you decide what you're ready to release and relinquish, retrograde, in terms of guilt, shame, fear, all of those sort of heavy emotions. That's all 8th house stuff, and it's helping you rethink about these, to let them go, to really bring yourself some freedom here. The sun here is there as well is highlighting the stuff that needs to be released around money, debt, all of those kinds of things. And it doesn't just have to be monetary debt. This could be debts that you owe other people, right? Or things that you feel like you're owed as well. This could be a time where they're returned in some way. Jupiter in the 4th house is bringing karma energy to your emotional self, maybe even to your home, your family connections. Jupiter represents healing as well. So there's a potential that you could heal some kind of familial rift, or maybe even just some kind of familial trauma. That's very possible here as well. What I like most about this for you, you have a clearer sense of what you feel and what you believe in, right? The 8th house is a very spiritual energy because it's the occult, it's tarot, astrology, numerology, it's mediumship, energy work, right? All of that stuff is 8th house. Because this is Mercury retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have a visitation from a dead loved one. It could be a really powerful dream or psychic message or impression that comes from a reading if you have one at this time. Whether it's with me or not is irrelevant. This could be a really powerful time for you to get deep insights around those kinds of things, right? Because these planets are coming into a really harmonious connection, this could be messages that come from the beyond or from the other realm in some way that really help you here in the present. As the Mercury also rules your 5th house, it's helping you understand the game that is passive income, right? Because it's connected to that 8th house, other people's money, and you could really be enjoying this. Jupiter is the ruler of your 2nd and your 11th houses, is showing you that benefactors may come through or from your family, or potentially that your beliefs are shaping your financial future. And now that you know that and you understand it on a level that you've never understood it before, like you know it as a concept, but this time you feel it, like you literally, you know it in the pit or the depths of who you are. And now you're like, right, okay, shit, I need to get my beliefs in check so that they start working for me instead of against me. For this, you've got the 8 of Wands. That's okay, cool, with the Devil card and the King of Wands. One thing that I want to say to you here, a lot of the insights and the revelations that come in for you, unless people are trusted advisors, I would not share this information. Whatever messages, impressions, psychic impressions, dreams, feelings or visions, etc. come to you, they are for you and they are for you only. This is not stuff that you're meant to be out there broadcasting to everyone and anyone and their aunt called Fanny, right? Like this is, you have to keep it really, this is one of those times where keeping it tight, right? Like keeping it really tight is really, really important. Now, that being said, it's also worth mentioning here as well, be careful with too much information, right? And it's kind of like one of those analysis paralysis type energies where so much information is coming in that you end up kind of being lost in the source of it all. Outside of that, this also could help you break away from some personal bad habit, which I think is fantastic for you. So that's the 4th of September. On the 8th of September, the Sun, the energy of authority figures, light, heat, vitality is coming into your 8th house as well. It's shining a light on your fears, your wounds, your traumas, maybe the things that you've held on to so deeply and now have become a part of your makeup, but they're no longer doing you any good. The Sun is bringing healing. The Sun brings healing. Jupiter brings healing as well. So Jupiter is healing your 4th house, home, property, family, emotional self. The Sun is bringing illumination, warmth, light, heat, vitality, and healing to your psychological self. And so this, the Sun coming into a trine with Jupiter, even though Jupiter is retrograde, is known as one of the luckiest aspects in astrology. And this is providing you with the right energy to expand your home, to gain a more permanent or settled energy around home. It's helping family come together, or maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's that you're putting a family or a personal history in the right place and in the right context. This could be some kind of emotional issue or wound around family or heritage that is like mended or healed for you in a really powerful way. And you know, this could be around the father for a lot of you, because the Sun represents the father. And you know, so this is a 4th house, home and family. The Sun in the 8th house, a wound around the father could be mended or healed at this time. A reconnection could happen because Jupiter is retrograde in that 4th house. Jupiter is expansion, luck, abundance, growth. It's the energy of light and healing and optimism and joy and opportunity. So, you know, if you work from home or with homes, this could be great for your finances or your money. If you've got a home-based business, this could be a financial blessing that comes through the family or potentially through, you know, through the father, maybe. It could also be financial blessings that just come to you through your work or your business or through other people's money. You know, for those of you that are partnered or married, again, maybe your partner gets a financial boost and they, you know, they share that or shine that on you in some way. I also feel like as well, for a lot of you, this could be a lovely gift from a family member. Either way, male figures in your life are shining on you and showing it in potentially some very big or financial or material ways. For this, you've got the 7 of Pentacles, so your financial future is looking bright with the Queen of Pentacles, love that, and the King of Swords, right? Beautiful. So you've got 2 kings here, Two Kings represents minor council. So this could literally be that you are having a consultation of some sort. Again, it could be a reading. It could be, you know, a consultation in that regard. It doesn't have to be with me. I'm just saying, like, this is the energy. Now, because you've got the Queen of Pentacles underneath the Devil card, that's likely to be a Capricorn woman that will feature for you. This will be somebody that you are either connecting with or working with, or maybe even is helping you in some way further some of your goals or plans. Because you've got the Seven of Pentacles here, there's a sense that you are investing in something for the future, but it's also potentially bringing you the rewards and the results from efforts that you've already put in. There's some kind of gain here that I think is wonderful, and it's being cemented for the long term with that King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords is usually an air sign person, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. You are an Aquarius. The King of Swords as a zodiac sign is literally Aquarius. So I love this. In some way, shape or form, this does suggest that you are looking after yourself, your home and your emotional well-being, and therefore your physical health and vitality is much better. And if that wasn't enough, you're also now starting to get a glimpse into what your financial and material experience can be if you do that work. You're getting help here from somebody to do it. On the 16th of September, Venus is going to come into the third and final square with Jupiter retrograde. So Jupiter retrograde in your 4th house. Venus is in your 7th house. She's been there for a while. She's finally now finished her retrograde. So this is 4th house of home, family, property, real estate, emotional self. The 7th house of commitments, partnerships, significant one-to-one relationships, marriage, all of that stuff. Now, if you are... Venus is luck, money, pleasure, romance. She is relationship, connection, harmony, diplomacy. She is also luxury and goods and money. And, you know, having been retrograde in that 7th house, she will have also, because Venus is our values as well. So she will have seen you really start to understand what you believe about relationships, how you value them or not, as the case may be. And this is the end of a story that began around the 11th of June. What were the big themes around home, relationship, competitors in work as well? What were the big themes around those things around the June the 11th? June the 11th, Venus and Jupiter came into a square and they were both direct. 21st of August, Venus was retrograde, Jupiter was direct. They came into the 2nd square. This 3rd and final square, Jupiter is retrograde this time, but Venus is newly direct. So you're understanding something full circle here. Home life, relationships come together, and potentially in a challenging way. This could be as simple as a fallout with somebody that you love, maybe somebody that you live with, right through to a new emotional understanding of relationships in general. I think it's going to be that for a lot of you in some regard. You might get an insight here into how your own thoughts have maybe shaped many of your important relationships, and maybe not necessarily for the better. So this could be a moment where the rose-tinted glasses come off, or where you actually see your own behavior within relationships or the context of them, and you kind of say, whoa, okay, I didn't realize, like, this is a bit of a red flag to me, and, you know, I don't find this acceptable. I wouldn't accept it from someone else, and here I am doing that very thing. This could also be where a partner or a loved one voices something that really upsets you. It might be about a way that you either see yourself or a way that you behave that you hadn't really clocked. And so to have it pointed out so starkly by somebody that you love and care about can be a bit tender. Now, it's likely to be a bit of an impasse, and it might be where you get your wires crossed. That's all possible. This could also be for a very select few of you if you are married but separated. If you are in a relationship that has kind of gone its separate ways, this could potentially be where you guys come back together. I mean, my money's on it being around the Venus retrograde. This is still possible here. And if this is the case, you're going to notice that it will be a very difficult beginning. There might be a lot of water under the bridge, and it might not necessarily be that you can't forgive each other. It might be that people around you can't forgive the other person having supported you through or with that breakup. You know, there's always more to consider here. And obviously, ultimately, you've got to do what makes you happy. But just know that there are a lot more considerations here than maybe you're seeing. And then finally, on the 24th of the month, Mars is coming into an opposition with Chiron. So this is happening. So Mars will be in, Chiron's in your third house of Aries. Mars will be in your ninth house of Libra, right? So this day in general is packed with a lot of powerful energy. It's a powerful one of a wound or a shortcoming of some sort, but it also has the seeds of the healing that can come from it that are making themselves known. Mars is the power of energy, action, excitation, irritation, war. It's a severing energy. And when that comes into the sign of Libra, it's in the sign of its fall. It doesn't necessarily do good work because Mars wants this, Libra does this. Libra is a Venusian sign. So this is a very weird territory for Mars to be in. Now, that being said, it means that all of us are feeling the frustration or the annoyance in some way because the way forward isn't so direct. It's not as clear cut as we would like it to be. And because it's opposing the energy of Chiron in the sign of Aries, Aries is the sign of the self. And so the way that I see Chiron in Aries, it's showing us what it has cost us to be ourselves in a specific area of life. And it's highlighting to you the way to heal through that is the action of where Mars is in Libra, right? So what this suggests for you is Mars in the sign of Libra is in the ninth house. So your actions, it's, you know, and Chiron being in that third house, it's really highlighting to you where maybe sibling connections have cost you. It's highlighting to you where maybe your local environment has, you know, seen you go through some really hard stuff and it kind of makes you feel a bit like, oh, it could potentially be, you know, where you felt cut off from your local environment or had problems or issues with the neighbours. And because Mars is the ruler of Aries and it's in the ninth house, the actions that you need to take here, and because the ninth house is healing, right? So the ninth house is about your higher education. It's about your belief systems. And so this is basically saying to you, if you want to build that day-to-day experience in a much more beneficial and enjoyable way, if you want to have sibling connections and local connections and things that make you happy, if you want to be able to communicate in a way where people understand you, you have to act, Mars, in that ninth house through that Libran energy, which is about you really having a chance to heal by connecting to a teacher, a therapist, a coach, a counselor of some sort that really gets you. Somebody that sees you and says, okay, you know what? I know how to help you through your trauma around education, right? So let's say, and this is something I resonate very deeply with, I tried to study at university level twice, no less, and both times it went horribly fucking wrong. One, because I was in a very bad relationship. Two, because I wasn't ready for it at the time. And three, because that wasn't my path. It was close to what I meant to be doing, but it wasn't my path. And I was so hard-headed at the time that I thought it was that way. And it came with a whole bunch of experiences that were, quite frankly, life-ruining and awful for me and very, very painful, even to this point, right? To this day, I still kind of have moments where I'm like, ugh. Now, I have a wound around education. I've studied loads of things since then and done really, really well with it. Do I still have some stuff around this? Yes, absolutely. So I hope that gives you an idea of how this might play out for you, because the ninth house is education. The third house is also education and skills, right? But the ninth house is university, whereas the third house is more sort of like courses, short courses, you know, anything up to and including a year, basically. Anything beyond that would be like ninth house stuff. So this is about getting it. And because Chiron is in that third house, speaking about your stuff, making yourself vulnerable might have been where that wound is. It's like, well, I don't want to tell anybody that this is a problem to me because, you know, if I do that, then I'm going to be judged and I'm going to be this and I'm going to da-da-da-da. Like that, what I just shared with you guys, you know, with potentially, not all of you are going to be watching this, but potentially with 92,000 people out there in the world, I never would have shared 3, maybe 4 years ago, never would have spoken about that so openly. Whereas now, piece of piss, because it's like I've done most of the work around it. But for me to be able to do that, there's stuff, you know, there's always stuff. We're always working on stuff. But this could really help. And so what it says is get honest and active about speaking up, speaking your mind, sharing your story, speaking your truth, because your story and your truth that you share through that ninth house, broadcasting, publishing, YouTube, books, blogs, social media, etc. Social media is probably more ninth house, really. 11th house, sorry. But you get the gist, right? By speaking up and sharing your story, you may just realize where you're supposed to teach, and you're supposed to be the teacher and the guru, not the guru, like the teacher and the mentor, and you're becoming that. But in order to do that, you have to share your story and speak about it openly, even if it feels uncomfortable. And that may just very well be somebody else's survival manual, right? Like, right, okay. So for this, we've got the Three of Swords. There's something that you got to let go here, right? And as soon as you do, you're going to feel so free and so powerful for it. And with the Six of Swords, it suggests that this is the way out is through, right? There's no getting around this. It's an opposition, so it's an impasse. While it's going to be a relatively short transit, it's going to bring up some shit. Trust me for that. I totally forgot as well, the Venus transit. I should have put cards down. So you got the Two of Cups. We've got the Knight of Cups. And we've got the Page of Cups. It was so interesting because these cards wouldn't have spoken to this. So I just looked, I was like, there's a set of cards missing. The Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Cups. For some of you, this will be the mending of a relationship. That 16th of September around the Venus transit. For some of you, that will be the mending of a relationship, or at least the healing and like the ability to move beyond it. For others, for those of you that are single, this could literally be that you are meeting somebody that completely shatters your idea of what relationships are, and maybe you behave in some ways that feel really uncharacteristic, and then you look at them and you think, wow, no, actually that's me, and it's something that I do need to fix. And then, like I say, for this opposition, there is a chance to get past this. There's a chance for ultimate freedom here, but it relies on you being really honest and speaking up and finally letting go. And what's really interesting about this, now that I see it with my tarot geek brain, Mars is opposing Chiron. So Mars is going to be in your ninth house, the Nine of Pentacles, and Chiron is going to be in your third house, which is the Three of Swords, right? Look at that. Just absolutely phenomenal. I love the way this stuff works sometimes. Anyway, for your moons, for the Virgo new moon is happening in your 8th house. This is a chance to really start over, to refresh that space and get rid of some kind of wound, challenge, or to do some kind of really deep healing. For this, you've got the gate 43 and ahead. Something that you are doing or creating, or that you have seen, is not only ahead of its time, but you see something around this new moon, or you start something or initiate something around this new moon that is going to have a whole other kind of element to it, and potentially is going to be very, very lucrative for you. I'm so totally fucking here for this. And I know what it's going to be for me. So I'm like, woo! For those, and then when it comes to the Aries full moon, that for you is taking place in your 3rd house of other people. 3rd house is your locality. It's also commercial endeavors and sales, contracts, communications, siblings. You've got the gate 55 and abundance. The message behind this, especially with everything that I talked about with that transit of Chiron opposing Mars, right? This basically suggests that you are... This card says, understanding that the universe has your back is the way that you find or tap into your abundance. And like I said, speaking up, speaking your truth, sharing your story, no matter how painful or vulnerable it makes you feel, that full moon is going to highlight an opportunity for you to really ramp up your world. And this whole month is going to have a lot to do with what you shift internally is going to release the blocks, the challenges, or the issues that sit in front of your money. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes out. Take care, and I'll see you soon.